Renard. Renard.
Today we're going to try to squeeze some more horsepower out of Project Kendra. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, let's run down what we've done so far. So far, we've added a can tune from the SCT tuner, the X4, XCow, or whatever it's called, the SCT handheld tuner. It comes with some programming options, and one option they have is like a 87, 91, and a 93 octane tune. So basically the 93 tune adds adds about 2 degrees of timing across the board on the car. We've also added a off-road H-pipe. Now, the biggest gains that we've had so far, performance-wise, has been the off-road H-pipe. I gotta say, the car sounds awesome with that off-road H-pipe. Now, I'm a big fan of sound of push rod motors, but I gotta say, with that H-pipe, and I believe that's a chambered muffler that's on Project Kendra, it sounds damn good. So let's go over what we're gonna do today. So yes, this is a air intake kit. Now, before you start laughing, these cold air intake kits has proven independently, like this, you go back in the forum days, there's been some people who put these on and saw around a 10 horsepower gain with one of these installs. So not only are we going to install the JLT intake, we have this 90 millimeter mass airflow sensor from a 03 Cobra Ford Lightning, same size, same part number. So we're going to install this and we're going to see what kind of gains that we can get. Now, when we went to the track last week, my plan was to do all this at one time and get some track numbers, but I didn't have all the silicone couplers. My man Kelly gave me some pieces for the Allen, those 2 red ones. That was part of his intake kit. And I ordered some couplers and some stuff that I had here. Now, the way this was configured from the person who I bought this from, they were using it as a cold air intake, so that curved part went inside the inner fender. I don't like doing that on a daily driven car because you have a risk of condensation getting drawn into the intake. And I've actually had that happen on Project Kendra, where I was out, got caught in a rainstorm, and went through a couple of puddles and the car bogged down, so had to change the oil after that day. So we're just gonna let it sit on the inside of the engine bay, but let's figure out how we're going to do this. All right, so basically we have this part right here. This is the part that's going to go to the throttle body. I don't have the throttle body with me, but I believe I was using this on my old cold air intake that I had. And I think these are the 2 same size. It's like a 3-inch. So if that's the case, that will go on there. And then you just find the correct size worm drive, worm clamp you need. And that's that. So I'm sure this is what I need here. And then this will go on the throttle body. Now, from there, we need to adapt the mass airflow meter to here. So one of these, mass airflow meter has an arrow on it. So the air is going to come in this direction and go that way towards the motor. This is the biggest one I have. So that would go like that. That's too big. Could maybe cut this, 'cause I know this was on here already. Look like they've already cut this somehow. But it's just a little bit small in diameter. Yeah, do it like this, if that works. So slide this, yeah. Slide that down all the way. So now the tube is riding along the edge of this. And so I can use a clamp. Basically, I find a clamp and my arrow is correct. Air's coming this way. And I could, yeah, do it like that. This really isn't the right size though. But I guess once I put a clamp on it, it'll be fine. All right, so we got the car in the garage. I am going to pull this whole old assembly off, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to arrange the new 90 millimeter mass airflow sensor, and then we'll go over how I'm going to, quote, try to get this to work with the computer. All right, so since I'm not going to run an air filter, I'm going to need some kind of screen. So what I'm going to do is run a little mesh screen. Kind of like this. Let's try to put this in. A little shaky right there. But let's get to the electronics part of this. So now we go down to MAF. They only have one option. That's the 90 millimeter. That's exactly what we have. That's the only thing we changed. We already got our other parameters set. And so my thought is, one thing it's doing, I installed the 90 millimeter mass airflow sensor. The only thing it's doing is just updating the transfer curve on the stock ECU. Now, I don't have my wideband, but I'm going to dialogue and I'm going to look at the Hugo, so I can kind of get an idea of what the car is doing based off the Hugo voltage. All right, the car is idling erratic. Yeah, it's idling kind of crazy. All right, plan A did not work, so we're going with plan B. The stock assembly housing has a screen on it, so we're just going to get rid of the silencer, and when we get to the track, we'll remove the headlight assembly, and that'll be our quote cold air intake. All right, made it back up here to the track. This is probably the last run that we'll get this season. Crowd-wise, to be expected, not super crowded. There's a lot of Foxbodies up here today. I saw two of them out here in the pits. I think one is in the staging lane. There's another one right there. I think there's two of them out here drifting. Never checked out this drifting before, so I might head over here and check it out. But the only thing that we done to Project Kendra is just couldn't get the JLT intake on, so we are just rocking the stock air assembly without the silencer, without the air filter. We'll make a pass, and then we'll take off the headlight on that side, see if it helps.
Before I go up here, let me see what I can foot brake this to. Let me see. About 1,500 RPM. Little heat up. That felt good. You know, I'm not gonna lie. That felt like the fastest this car's ever been, but I'm pretty sure once I look at the slip, it's probably gonna be the slowest. It felt like it hooked. It felt like it came out the hole pretty good. So we'll see what happened. Oh sweet, we got another SN95 up here. All right, some pretty good information. The miles per hour went up. I don't remember exactly what it was. I know it's 96 something, but this run, I hit 97. A quarter mile was slower because my 60 foot was worse, but it picked up speed in the 8th mile and in the quarter mile, so that's good. So now it's really a traction issue. If I can get, maybe not foot brake it so hard. Yeah, I foot brake it to 1,500. Maybe if I foot brake it to 1,000, it might like it better. But first pass, it felt pretty good. Now, we'll foot brake it to 1,000, make maybe a couple more passes. Then once we kind of see where the car is at, we'll take off the headlight and see what kind of ET that might drop. So I'm really hoping to get 14.2 today. That'll be great. But I don't know. I think if I would have had that JLT, I think I definitely would hit 14.2 maybe on that first run. But we'll figure it out. All right, we are in a weather delay, and I don't think I'm gonna get another pass in today. I think it might be another 30 minutes before the track dries up, and I have to dip. It's unfortunate because I was really hoping to see this term.
So we are working on trying to get the track out there. I'm guessing we got weather going on right now, and we can't raise it, so the track is dry.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on right now.
They just made the announcement that, you know, the track is still drying. I was really hoping to see this Terminator run. But I guess, you know, for me, the good thing is we're seeing those gains, as my son Xavier likes to say. See those gains. Mile per hour went up, I think,
I didn't foot brake it so much. 60 foot would have been better, but it's colder up here in Wisconsin. Like down there by me, it was like 58 degrees. Up here, it's probably in the low 50s, might be in the high 40s. But yeah, I think we're gonna call this a wrap for today. So if they don't make an announcement giving us a time frame, I'm give myself another 15 minutes. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll go back home. The good thing is, so I told y'all how I like to, as far as YouTube channels, comic books, the other besides comic books, I like meteorology, so I watch Ryan Hall a lot. Up this way, we got a nice high pressure system coming, so next weekend we're supposed to have basically similar weather, so might be in a situation where I can get another track day in. So keep your fingers crossed. If this track dries up in the next 15 minutes, then we'll cut back to us being here at the track and making a pass. If not, then we're going to close this out at the house.
All right, so not really the most enjoyable time I've ever had at the track. And it just really makes me realize how, I got there and I was kind of anxious to go through the paces, but, sometimes you just got to slow down and, double check everything and, make sure you have everything in order before you get out here and start making these passes, because, it could have been a lot worse than me just having a slower ET. Now, we did pick up some miles per hour, but I think with that hood latch not being all the way closed, it almost kind of like had a parachute effect where you had that wind drag in front of the car. So I definitely think the car could have went faster, but unfortunately the rain came. And one other thing that happened while I was in the rain delay talking to people in the pit, somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey man, you got this massive leak under your car." And, scared the Jesus out of me. And I went up under there and I looked, and it's just condensation. And this is one thing I noticed going with this off-road H-pipe is I have a lot of condensation coming out the tailpipes. And what had happened is, where the exhaust joints are, it was kind of just that condensation was seeping through there and just created a big pile of water on the ground. And, I verified that it was just water. I put my hand on the pile and smelled it, and it was just water. So, but the other thing is, at the beginning of the video, you saw that cloud of smoke coming out the exhaust. So I don't think I have a coolant leak. I think something else might be going on. It could be a leak in the intake manifold. Not sure yet. Really haven't done any investigations, and that's really the only time I've had that puff of smoke. So I don't want to go too overboard on theories, but it's definitely something I have to look into. But this is really the official end of my 2024 season. So now it really turns into build season, and I still haven't really ironed a deal out on some things yet, so I really can't make an announcement on too much what's going on. But I can tell you with this car, I'm going to be dropping down on that turbo size. Right now it's a 75 millimeter turbo. It really serves no purpose for me to have that big of a turbo for what I want to do. I'm kind of having a change of direction. I've talked about this before with this car. I want this car to be more of a cruiser car. When I first built it, I built it more for drag racing in mind. And I've been slowly changing things to morph it more into a street car. So there's no reason for me to have a 1100 horsepower turbo in that car when, honestly, I really just want this car to just live in the 11-second range. Now, something like that will allow this car to live comfortably and take a lot of abuse. And really, I have to say, just having fun with Project Kendra has really guided me towards this change of philosophy. So I can say I do want to build a dedicated track car. I can't speak too much on that yet. if it's going to happen next year or when it's going to happen. But eventually on this channel, we would have a just strictly dedicated track car, 4.6 2-valve based. Not really sure much more than that, but hey, leave a comment down below. You know, if I am going this strict drag car route, what kind of combination would you like to see? NA, forced induction, nitrous, high compression. You know, I have my idea, but I would love to hear some of y'all ideas out there. So, hey, next year in January, I will be taking Project Kendra down there in the Atlanta area. I will have the Allen Supercharger installed and tuned. And the plan is, you know, start early next year, making some passes on these cars. You know, locally, you know, I won't be able to get this car on the track until the weather breaks. But, you know, I know up until now, I've just been focusing on a lot of installs or repairs. But we're kind of at a place now, especially with this car. All the bugs I pretty much ironed out. Like I said, I want to drop down to a smaller turbo. Safety equipment wise, you know, that's why I kind of want to stay in the 11-second range. I don't have to put a cage in this car. So some small changes coming for 2025, but hey, hang around, see what we have in store. Hey, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me in the 2024 year. I look forward to some new things and maybe getting a chance to meet some of y'all come next year. We are doing more of the national shows. I know we haven't done that in the past couple of years. A lot of stuff been going on. I'll probably get into that a little bit later on another video. But hey, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate y'all rocking me on this long video. Until next time, God bless.
Miss Neek on the track. Miss Neek on the track.